Lovely. Sabine, do you want to do an intro, or do you want me to kind of
Yes,
launch straight into
as
it?
we are a very small group as of now, I like to do a short intro. Let me just start with some rules, but I don't think we need to follow that really if we stay that six people. Anyway, we're gonna do the presentation. You can ask your questions as we are three, so you can really directly ask your questions once you have your questions. But we also will have some time after the presentation for a Q&A session. I know Patrick knows all three of us and Signe as well because they joined the ISV Connect in April. Charmaine, you haven't met only me last week. So I would hand over first to Islam and then to Rufus to give a short introduction before we start with the presentation. Islam.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Nice to see you all. I'm Islam, actually, marketing manager for ISVs, and I'm helping also Sabine with different things like related to ISVs. So if you have any questions, marketing related, please reach out.
Oh, and I
Thank you.
missed one thing. We are recording this session. I hope that's okay
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Rufus, your turn, introduction, and then go ahead with the presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sabine. So yeah, lovely to meet you all. My name's Rufus. I lead the ISV program at Seer 365. So as part of that role, I look after everything related to add-ons, third parties for the Microsoft Dynamics space. All of the onboarding and engagement with both new and existing ISVs within the program. As Sabine mentioned, I think there's not many of us today. So if you guys do have any questions as we're kind of going along, if there's anything specific you'd like to see, feel free to ask as we go through.
Okay.
Excellent. So this is a slightly sort of more in-depth walkthrough from following on from the ISV Connect. So just a bit of a run through of who we are at Seer 365, what we are doing with Guide 365, and where that partnership with Companial comes into play as well. So in terms of who we are at Seer 365, a quick bit of background. So for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with us as an organization, we come from a sort of line of previous Microsoft partners. A decent percentage of our company, including myself and our CEO, were actually previously at Ebex in the UK. And between all of the Seer 365 team, we average about 15 plus years of Dynamics experience across the board. So we have worked as SIs, we've worked as ISVs, and really we kind of came together because we felt that there were kind of ongoing challenges with the experiences of both ISVs and SIs in the Microsoft space. And there wasn't really any tooling in the marketplace to help partners with those challenges. So what we were looking to do was essentially leverage what is current Microsoft best practice, what is the latest in the technology stack, how can we help to actually automate this kind of software and implementation process that we've all been doing for several years now. As it stands today, we operate worldwide. So Guide 365, our product, is used across 40 different countries around the world, and we have 150 plus partners subscribed to the platform today. And from an ISV perspective, why should you work with us? Well, in a nutshell, the ISV market is busier than ever. I went onto AppSource a little bit earlier today, and I clicked on Dynamics 365, so purely kind of the biz apps side of the platform. We're not talking Azure, we're not talking modern workplace. And just by clicking that, I got over 10,000 results for different ISVs, different third-party solutions, different things that partners could utilize as part of a project. So it's harder than ever to stand out on Microsoft platforms. And a lot of SI partners don't always find AppSource the most useful thing either, because it's a static list, right? It is just a catalog, if you will, that they still need to manually look through. Hello, yes.
Perhaps you could, I mean, you're doing that for quite a while, right? Working with ISVs, working with SI, using your platform. Could you just give us some kind of trends, collaboration examples that you are seeing within the market, and especially in combination with BC?
Yeah,
So
I think absolutely. Thank you, Sabine. I think the market is changing as well. More and more partners are looking for collaborative opportunities to be working together. Business Central, I think, from where it was maybe 5 years ago, is on an absolute tear at the moment. There's a huge amount of momentum behind it and a lot of Microsoft attention as well. So it's a great time to have a Business Central practice in the market. And from an ISV perspective, Business Central compared to finance and operations tends to be a much more kind of ISV-led conversation. Business Central is a great core, it's a great platform, but Business Central partners don't have the same kind of development resource that finance and operations partners do. And they are reaching out to ISVs that have got mature solutions to fit those gaps. I don't know about the rest of you on this call as well, but I'm also seeing a big rise in like rapid deployments and rapid implementation approaches. You know, saying that we can deploy within 90 or 150 days. And to build those kind of those deployment packages, again, you need to be working with ISVs and partners to deliver that functionality. You can't be doing custom code, which could, you know, is finger in the air in terms of how long that takes to deliver.
Good, thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions?
Yeah, Charmaine?
Yeah, I have a question for you. So of the 150 partners that you work with worldwide, what percentage of them have a vertical solution as opposed to a horizontal solution? Roughly.
I would say that roughly 20% of partners maybe have a specific vertical solution compared to a horizontal solution. There are definitely industry focused, both ISVs. Yeah. And I think that every single implementation partner, they'll have like one or multiple industry focuses, but there's only a few that are really kind of, in my experience, very, very locked down to one specific industry. They normally have 2 or 3.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Patrick.
Yeah, just a question on the map in the beginning. I saw that yes. Germany was blank. So what would that mean for us as a German partner if we would like to work with you?
That means I would be extra excited to work with you. I can okay. I can practice my finest German. So I mean, the nice thing about the way that we work is we can do a lot of working remotely. But certainly from our side, we do have much more of a focus on European markets currently. We are nicely utilized by UK, US, Australia, New Zealand implementation partners, especially, who are all delivering projects all over the world. But we'd love to do more in Germany. We'd love to do more in Poland and Central Europe as well.
Okay. So
what we currently, what might help you as well, Patrick, to better understand. So we have that same cooperation, not just for ISV, but we started with the implementation partners as they asked for a lot more help once they get customer projects and how they could find the right ISVs. So that hopefully will change, as everything you need to start and need to grow. Yeah, but we hear that from everywhere, from our Companial community partners. But I also had some conversations recently with my competition, and they're also asking for help how to find the right ISV solution. As yeah, we all know, you should not do your own customization within cloud. So the needs and the behavior towards looking for a standardized solution is growing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why is Central, Signe asked why CE, Central Europe, is not represented today. Actually, same reason, Signe, yeah. But also here is a tremendous need to enrich possibilities to find the right ISV solutions.
Yeah. I think what I want to be clear on is this is not necessarily a map of where we work. It's a map of where we are today, not necessarily where we want to be. So we would absolutely love to work with European partners. And that's part of our partnership with Companial, is to help engage with Companial's kind of European knowledge and spread the word there as well. It's very, very small and difficult to see, but we do have some nice representation in Benelux as well. So we've got some partners there using us. So to return quickly to some of the ISV challenges in the market, hopefully some of these are familiar to all of you. There is an ongoing challenge, right, in being an ISV working with SI partners, in that you need the SIs to kind of have you as top of mind when they have an opportunity, and to try and communicate those opportunities to you in kind of a timely manner that you can deliver effectively, but also to help you forecast your revenue and your pipeline, because you're kind of reliant on how they're selling into partners. And there's an ongoing kind of feedback loop there of needing to maintain partner knowledge and also stay connected with them in terms of where they're working. Certainly from our side, these are things that we see across the board. But likewise, from an implementation partner's perspective, they are having challenges in delivering projects. It is a people business, and you can take the same set of requirements, give them to 5 different consultants, you'll get 10 different estimates back, right? It's all just based off of what they know and what they know how to deliver. So it can be very challenging for an SI partner to get a clear view on what is needed to deliver a project, and how can we deliver this on time and on budget in a reasonable way. There's always that kind of judgment call around that. And so that's where we started when we decided to build Guide 365. And Guide 365 is a set of applications that can be utilized as part of a Microsoft implementation. So SIs are using these, and then ISVs can add their content into the platform to be surfaced to those SIs at the most relevant point. So you'll see here that the various different applications, they map pretty directly onto the normal Microsoft SureStep approach. And if I drill into Discover, for instance, today, this is the application that is around a SI is engaged with a prospect or they're completing an RFP. How can they document what the requirements of that project are, match that up to functionality within the Microsoft ecosystem, and get a clear view on what this project will look like to deliver. So generate the proposals and generate kind of the overall order of magnitude for that project as well. Any questions so far? No? Okay, I will dip quickly into the system. So this is an example of Guide 365 Discover. This is my test system, hence why I've got all the modules down the left-hand side. This is essentially a configurable survey that the SIs can use when they're sat down with end customers or when they're filling out an RFP. They can start to move down this survey and document what specifically is needed from a business requirements perspective. because that's the language that end customers talk, right? They don't necessarily go into a meeting and go, we absolutely need to use this ISV and we need to use these areas of standard functionality. They're saying, right, we need to manage multiple warehouses. We need to support multiple sites. And so it focuses the conversation in on those business requirements and allows you to make a judgment call, or the partner to make a judgment call on what is a must-have, what is a should-have, a could-have, or not needed. So Moscow ratings, essentially, against these. And as the partner is filling this in, what we have done is we've mapped every single one of these requirements to what is standard Microsoft functionality, what is a gap that is perhaps not delivered by Microsoft functionality, and what is covered by the ISVs that are on the platform and the various different ISV solutions that we have. So when a partner goes through this and they fill this in, we can actually surface to them a detailed customized list that shows, based off of what you've filled in, these are the ISV solutions that you'll want to look to work with. Just take a moment to load. So in my case, I've kind of blitzed through and said, yeah, we need absolutely everything. But you can see here that there are some, very visual areas where you can go into ISVs and you can go get an idea of what these solutions deliver, for instance, what kind of requirements they deliver against. And then as an ISV, you've added commentary against those requirements saying, this is how this solution meets this requirement. So this is being surfaced to the SI partners as they're filling this out. And then when the time comes for them to generate the output documentation, so things like commercial proposals, summary PowerPoints, for instance, we can pull this data out and provide it to the SI partner and through them to the end customer. Finally, just very quickly, I'll also show what we see from an ISV perspective. And for instance, if I use, I don't know, Docs42, we can show, obviously we can't share things like end customer names because those are owned by the SI partners, but we are able to show which surveys have gone through the system against which partners and what levels of requirements have gone through the system against those. So this partner, for instance, can look at various different implementation partners and they can get a sense of what kind of level of requirement is going through the platform and what is there perhaps within the partner pipeline that we need to be aware of. So if they've got an existing relationship with these partners, are they aware of what these opportunities are? And if they haven't got a relationship in place with these partners, this gives them a focus and a talking point to kind of kick those kind of discussions off. Lovely. Cool. Jermaine.
I have a question. How do the not ISVs, how do the SIs get visibility of this tool that you've created?
They sign up with us is usually step one. But essentially, when an SI agrees a new partnership agreement, we set up an environment for them where they are it's called like a partner master environment. And from there, they can create individual surveys against their end customers.
Okay. So in essence, just to get it clear in my head,
yep.
You have two customers. You've got the supply side and the demand side. So the SI is the demand, and we as ISVs are the supply.
In a nutshell,
okay.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I've got kind of a screen here that shows the relationship, right? So the implementation partners are working with the end clients. They're using this to identify the requirements for their project. They're filling this out. And then this is detailing what is standard, what is ISV, and what is gaps. And the ISV partners that we work with, they're adding their content in. So they're going, these are the requirements that we can meet, that we can either do better than Microsoft standard, or that, Microsoft standard functionality can't deliver.
Would you, based on your experience, would you say that there is a slant when you're looking at return on investment or looking at the propensity to succeed with this platform, there is a slant towards standard Business Central and not so much verticalized?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would certainly say that the Business Central projects that we have being put through the system are generally picking somewhere in the region of about 2 to 5 ISVs to work with each time. Now, how those 2 to 5 are decided, that is obviously heavily dependent on any one project's industry, scale, requirements. But I wouldn't say this is necessarily being used by partners to do standard only projects very often.
Sorry. Not necessarily standard, non-vertical.
Right.
Is what I mean. So what I'm saying is it geared towards baseline Business Central with horizontal ISVs as opposed to deep vertical?
Absolutely not. We have some very verticalized ISVs on the platform. So one of the most niche ones I work with is a US grain accounting piece of software. And to work with them, you have to specifically be harvesting grain. You have to be in need of an accounting platform. It needs to be Microsoft, and you need to be in the US. So they definitely get a lower level of hits throughout the year compared to a horizontal ISV. But those hits tend to be a much, much higher quality because there isn't a lot of choice. When they hit that target, they hit that target.
Yeah.
And that's kicking off some really, really good, productive conversations.
Okay, thank you.
I would rather add to my experience that especially the search for the specific vertical needs and knowledge is the key driver to go to a platform like Guide, because the vertical ones, they quite well known in a minute. Yeah. So they are most of the time when you look into partner, especially on our partner community, very honestly, with roughly 1,200 partners, you always see the top 3, 4, 5 vertical ISVs each and every partner is working with. But it becomes tricky when you're really looking for a marina solution, yeah, which is not everywhere in each and every country. Yeah. So I would say rather this is why SIs join the platform than the other way around. Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, can we choose in which regions we would be selectable or showing up as a ISV partner for the customer?
Yeah, so as we structure it today, we can sort of the way that we structure the partnership agreements, we can showcase you globally. But there are naturally ISVs that can only cater for certain regions, for instance. And for instance, when we're talking about Asia and Australia, New Zealand, some of the harder to reach time zones for maybe you and me, they want to know which ISV partners can cater for those regions as well. So it is something that we will be bringing in before the end of this year. But as it stands today, yeah, we kind of showcase you globally, and then we can have those conversations in terms of what is it a sensible ISV fit with this SI partner.
All right.
Just some questions. Now, what Signe was, hang on, what was she asking? What is the feedback on that? Sorry, I'm not sure if I got the question correctly, Signe. What exactly are you asking for?
Is that on what feedback do the ISVs receive within the system?
That ISVs are showcased in countries we do not deliver to.
I don't necessarily understand the question. So certainly there are ISVs on the platform that only deliver into certain countries. Where that has happened is what I do is I have a monthly meeting with all of the ISVs that are on the platform, similar to Sabine. I think you do a similar kind of approach. And on those calls, for instance, I would go through some of the partners that they are getting feedback on and be able to advise them on which ones are maybe Australia based, which ones are US based. And that's where we can kind of make that judgment call in terms of which partners to target.
Okay. She now is asking, she means that this kind of approach might confuse the partners that search, get feedback, but then cannot be kind of using the ISV, because the ISV, for example, like Minolta would say, I'm only delivered to Germany, but the partner is from Australia, for example.
Yeah, we absolutely agree. And it is something that we're starting to implement into the system. The question is how granular we go. So do we do it by like a country basis? So yes, we work in I don't know, Vietnam, but we don't work in China or Japan or Malaysia. Or do we do it by region? So we say, right, we don't do anything in APAC or ANZ, but we do in the US and Europe. That's all we're just trying to figure out at the moment, is kind of how granular to go. At the moment, I manage that manually by just having my knowledge of the ISVs and my knowledge of the partners and being able to kind of advise where there aren't those connection points. But it is something that we're bringing into the system at some point soon.
So that's what you mentioned before, that you said that's what you bring in by end of the year.
Yes.
However it's gonna look like, right? Good. I would have another question. So you showing, or you showed the dashboard for the ISVs, but you always need to go in. Is there anything, so how is an ISV made aware that there is a new survey or a new SI interested in his solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. So that goes back to having things like those monthly calls. So I'm going to use Docs again. I feel bad, but I don't have a test ISV data. What I do is when I have these monthly calls, we essentially go on and we'll review the latest set of data. Now, these are partners that are currently actively filling in surveys that have got requirements that match this ISV. And so that's where we're having that conversation about, based off of what we know about these partners, are they good engagement points? We can evaluate each individual partner on a must have, a should have, a could have. So for instance, with this piece of data, we'd look at Journey Team. I know that they're a US based partner, and I can see that they 62% must have requirements against this ISV. So that's where we'd have those discussions, right? We can see that there are 4 different surveys that have been put through just in the last, month and a half. And that's how we're staying aware of kind of new data that is being released into the system.
But this is also what the ISV can see, right?
Correct. Yeah. An ISV on the platform has access to this reporting, so they can also go in their own time and cut and have a look at the data whenever they want.
Okay. Can you just give us a rough idea how many surveys are going through your platform a month, a year?
Yeah, we're getting somewhere in the region of about 110 to 120 per month. So it's around the 1,300, 1,500 mark over the course of a year. That is fingers crossed, increasing exponentially over time as we continue to onboard new SI partners onto the platform and continue to grow, essentially.
Good. Thank you.
A question for you, if I may. And
Yeah,
of those 1,300-ish surveys per year, are you able to segment them down to industry sectors, whether it's construction, manufacturing, logistics, and so on?
We are, yeah. It is reliant on partner reporting. So the SI partner is the one that needs to mark which industry and sector that project belongs to. But for instance, we've got this customer insights screen that we can make available to the ISVs. And this is where they can see, we can't share customer names again, but we can share unique ID codes. And you can see here where they've been marked, which ones are manufacturing, for instance. This is a consumable beverages opportunity. This is an energy equipment one. And so we can make a judgment call based off of reviewing these, which industries they sit in as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay. So, any other questions?
Yeah, just coming back to sorry. So how can you and I, so Companial Seer, help and support ISV then to get in touch with the SI partners, or even better, with the right person at the SI partner to follow up on the survey?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a question I get a lot, and certainly the way that I approach this is our work at Seer, similar to Sabine's work at Companial, is double-sided, right? There's the Guide 365 platform, and that is a platform that is passive marketing. You're being surfaced to partners, and it's increasing awareness of your solutions within the market. But actually, alongside that, we do a series of events, which are opportunities to network and opportunities to meet SI partners in person as well. So over the course of this year, we ran, or are in the process of running, 5 different networking events alongside major Microsoft conferences. So all of the directions events, we've had networking events as well. We're going to be looking to up that to about 7 or 8 next year. Again, alongside major conferences. So people are already going to be there. And then it's going to be a kind of dedicated Seer networking event as well. When we see clusters of activity and these kind of rapid signals of a partner who is putting through maybe a lot of surveys that all have requirements that meet an ISV, or maybe 1 or 2 surveys that have a ton of must-have requirements, absolutely, we can look at doing warm introductions as well. So we have a team of partner success managers internally who work with each of the individual SIs. They've got really strong direct relationships, and by kind of leveraging them and their knowledge of the partners, we can look to get ISVs introduced as well.
Super.
So
I have overseen a question from Signe. Yeah. And that's really going back to that regional or the region thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That so Adravius is mainly currently has target markets in Central Europe and dealing with old-fashioned consultancy-based business, which I do hourly billing. So her question is that something that you are doing to tackle and try to gain access to that market?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a lot of work globally, actually, with Microsoft directly. We are currently, the Guide 365 platform is actually being used directly by the small and medium corporate teams for East Coast, West Coast, and all of EMEA and Europe. And essentially, Microsoft teams are using this because they can get an unbiased view of what a project may look like, and they can get an initial judgment on the scale of a project, even if they don't necessarily have a solution implementing partner kind of in line as well. We also do direct engagements with end customers where we are commissioned by Microsoft. We don't do any implementation work whatsoever within Seer 365, but we do generate these surveys. So that's where we're trying to kind of tap into some of these new markets where they have maybe slightly different challenges or slightly unique challenges. And we're trying to kind of bring SIs, end customers, all on that journey into obviously the Microsoft Dynamics 365 cloud.
Okay, she's also mentioning legacy markets, so enough. I think that this is more or less also a different story, because, well, what we currently, or what we see the last 5 years, and Microsoft pushing more and more, is really wherever those customers in the world that they need to be upgraded and migrated. Yeah. And that's done by everyone. I think that's done by Seer, that's done by Companial, that's done by each and every Microsoft partner in the ecosystem. And therefore, yeah, that's the trend, and that is the transformation, and that will come more and more to move those customers.
Very much so, and that's driven by Microsoft. Our tool and Guide 365, the platform, is very much kind of focused around those implementation processes. I would love to, and it's something that I've got on my my roadmap, to kind of do more of like an account management engagement and building more ISV strategy with end customers. What I do today is I'm connecting with the ISV managers at these various different SIs and making sure they're aware of kind of what their options are from a knowledge perspective as well. Okay, excellent.
Can I ask a question? How would you define an SI? Because I'm trying to interpret the language. Obviously, it's the first time I've seen this. I'm trying to interpret the language, and an SI could also be an ISV, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's I rephrase it. An SI can also be just a reseller.
Correct. Yeah. I would say an SI is anyone that is delivering an implementation project.
Yes. But the might
is selling the ERP system and is implementing it. But yes, you're right. There are many of those. They are, I call them mature or hybrid ones. They're doing both, because starting early, they needed to develop something. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah. Mainly SI is really a system implementer, selling, reselling licenses, the product, and implementing it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me try and position this then. I think I understand. We're a reseller that's moving into the ISV space.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very, very deep vertical, and as part of moving into the ISV space, we've created a reseller program. And there's a Dynamics Business Central reseller in Singapore who's stumbled across an opportunity in our vertical space.
Right. Okay.
And is that where your tool would come into play? I.e., they've signed up with Guide 365. They'll do all the Moscow scoring, and it would say Elite Dynamics has a 65% hit based on your must-haves, based on what we've put in is our solution. Right. Okay. So it could just be a normal reseller who is looking for a solution for Business Central.
That's probably in that case that he is looking for a solution. Yeah, he is just a reseller, because if he would own the IP, Charmaine, he wouldn't look, right?
Yes. So he doesn't have the IP, and he's not yet on our reseller program, but he's got a Business Central opportunity. He's put the details in. Because he's registered on Guide 365 and we're registered on Guide 365, we will come up and then we'll go ahead and do whatever we need to do. Understood. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, spot on. Wonderful. So in terms of our partnership with Companial, we have kind of an ongoing connection and partnership with Companial on both the SI and the ISV side. To kind of summarize how we're approaching things on the SI side of the partnership, because it has kind of a knock-on impact on the ISV side. SIs can use their service credits, for those of you that are familiar with kind of that mechanic at Companial, to create Guide 365 surveys under the Companial account. And the only ISVs that are being showcased to those Companial SIs that are building Guide 365 surveys are existing Guide 365 ISVs. So if you have and vice versa,
active Companial ISVs that have assigned an active Companial agreement.
Correct. Yeah. So essentially, there's almost like a separate, to use a kind of marine reference, a separate ocean, a separate pool of partners that are the Companial partners. And then there's the pool of partners that are the Seer 365 partners. And to be operating across both pools, you would need to be both a Seer 365 and a Companial partner. So
we're a partner of Companial.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing that. Once you sign in for a yearly subscription, Jermaine, you would be partner of both of us. So the value, or what Rufus wants to say is, once this is a Companial partner looking for a Marina software, and even there would be 2 or 3 Marina software ISVs providing this kind of solution, your solution would be the one to be shown and recommended to the Companial partner. Yeah. So
okay.
ISV X and A wouldn't be shown up, just you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once this is a non-Companial reseller or SI partner, that partner would see those 3 Marina solutions, but with the different, how do you say that in English, different level of matching, and needs then himself either reach out to all 3 or just decide themselves. So yeah, okay. But the description gives you both opportunities, access to all partners that are in the Companial kind of ocean, but also reach out to the partners in the Seer ocean.
Sabine's explained that really, really well. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And how much does all this cost? I rephrase that actually, because cost makes it sound negative. What's the level of investment?
The level of investment is for one solution 7,000 euros, or I think 6,000 pounds. I'm not that good in pounds, but I think it was 6,000 pounds with an onboarding fee, one-time onboarding fee of 1,250 euros, Jermaine.
Or £1,000. Yeah. So the SIs are, and let's be open and transparent about this. The SIs are the ones that are actively using Guide 365 to ultimately win business, right? To turn around proposals quickly and effectively and win RFPs and win new opportunities. From an ISV perspective, this is about you bringing your content onto the Guide 365 platform and getting access to the Guide 365, and if you've got the Companial partnership, the Companial networks as well. So when we've been costing this, we've built this basically off of what it would cost to exhibit at perhaps a Microsoft event, for instance. And everything I've kind of covered today would fit under a bronze subscription. So that is adding your solution into the Guide 365 Discover survey, which is that initial from prospect into customer survey that the majority of our partners are using. It's access to a marketing pack, so things like announcements, 2 webinars per annum, and a monthly account call, as mentioned, so we can go through the ISV reporting and the data. So that covers one ISV solution. And as Sabine mentioned, that's around £7,000 per annum, and then a one-time onboarding fee. And that's where we work with you collaboratively to identify what requirements your solution needs to be tagged to in the system. And we can work out what that content is, build it with you, and then upload it in the next release cycle as well.
So there's 2 parts to the Guide 365 ISV subscription. The one part is like peer-to-peer connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other part is internal use of the tool to build out the Moscow scoring. And effectively what you're saying is what you're offering for the bronze is the peer-to-peer connection. But if you want the tooling to use in your own internal or your own direct sales or your partner's direct sales, then you need to go for the gold subscription. Is that correct? Is that how have I interpreted that correctly?
There is a separate a separate pricing structure if you're purely interested in the tooling piece.
Okay.
What I would say is that absolutely those prices for the tooling piece, that is probably around the right kind of figures. The gold subscription is intended exactly that, for where you're actually looking to utilize both and basically across the board platform access.
Okay.
So if you are interested in another conversation around that tooling piece, more than happy to kind of work with you to set up a conversation around that. But what I'll do is I'll bring one of our partner success managers onto that call, because they're the ones that know that SI experience inside and out. Whereas I can only really talk to it at a high level.
Yeah, I've been through it with Joe Padden a couple of times.
Excellent.
Well, I did twice, and then I put him onto my team and said, speak to the sales, pre-sales, project management, and the consulting teams, so we kind of understand it. But I've got a new operations director in, and as we're looking to go down the reseller channel, we need some way of making sure that there's a consistency of approach, one consistency of their evaluation and requirements gathering, but also consistency of delivery. So it's come back round again, but very interesting.
No, my pleasure. It's a hard thing to quantify on a pricing structure as well, but
it's easy to say it's really expensive.
No, not at all. But one of the other things we do with a lot of the ISV partners is we have calls with people like Joe Padda, people like Sam Dharmasiri, and kind of we want to work with you to make sure that your marketing and that your partnership and alliances structures are in tip-top shape, right? That is mutually beneficial if you're engaging successfully with SI partners. So we do have things that like calls and things to kind of discuss those best go-to-markets and kind of share our expertise. But that's kind of a difficult thing to kind of quantify onto a spreadsheet.
Yeah, understood.
No problem. Lovely. Well, that was kind of the core of what I had to present today. We've got a few minutes left. Is there any further questions?
Not from me. Yeah, very informative, very interesting. I need to just take time away and give it some thought and run it by my product team, project managers, sales guys, and see where I can see where the benefits lie. Definitely. Thank you.
Excellent. No, great to hear. Likewise for yourself, Patrick and Signa. If there's anything I can do to help with any further discussions, please just let myself or Sabine know.
So I would appreciate that you're going to reach out to me, and I'm going to set up then the calls together with Rufus so that we can stay aligned. And with you, Patrick, I would like to have you for more seconds. Then I would give you just a short call, because I'm owing you an information that I can give you now.
All right, super. Yeah. So we are a bit in the same situation that Jermaine, we are doing both. We are a system integrator and an ISV, so it might be a similar discussion then for us.
Yeah, then you kind of really need to do both or see both sides of things. Yeah. But definitely for those ones that already joined, and especially Martin Smith, you met him, Patrick, from 9 Altitudes or Dynalogic. He was he's doing it now for 7 months, something like that. So I think he started beginning this year, joined the Seer Companial platform, and he is really, really happy. Yeah. So there's a lot of lead generations. He see an increased visit, or match by those service to his solutions, and he really sees this as a value. And to be honest, that was the reason why we then did decide on the collaboration.
All right.
And especially for you, Jermaine, want to reach out to US, that can be really exposure boost.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, we've got a team in the US, and there's a couple of partners that we have helped kind of launch into the US as well. So that's absolutely something we can help with. I've noticed Signa's asked a couple of questions, and just to clarify quite an important point, we do not transact licenses. We don't do anything directly transactional. So when you do make an SI to ISV connection, from a commercial perspective, that's entirely for you to engage with directly with those SIs and make your own partnership agreements, etc. In terms of insights into sort of results from like an ROI perspective, it does vary massively depending on what kind of ISV they are, based off of, you know, how verticalized they are, whether they already have a reputation, whether they're new into the channel. There's all of these different factors that kind of affect what their experiences are of being on the platform. Absolutely, I think the fastest way to find out a little bit more about that kind of ROI and those experiences, speak to a few of the ISVs, and Sabine has a whole list of Companial partners who are also Seer 365 partners. Have a chat with some of them, and they can give you a very honest view of how they found working with us.
Yeah. And quite easy, so you can reach out once you really decide and want to subscribe. Yeah, you reach out to me, and we're gonna set up the contract. That's done in a minute. And it can be signed through our tool, and then we're gonna hand that over, and you start onboarding then with Seer, with the description of your solution and so on.
Okay.
Any further questions?
Not from me, thank you.
Nope.
Good.
No problem.
Then thank you, the three of you, joining the meeting. I hope it was helpful, but I interpret your feedback as very positive, so that's fine. And yeah, wishing you a nice evening. And as said, please reach out. And Patrick, I would call you in a minute. Or Teams you in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.